I just spent 15 minutes talking and it didn't get recorded, so now I am starting over. And hold on 1 second. Okay, so to begin again, I'm going to just go to, okay, glad it's working now. Okay, I'm going to talk about the pack extractor, which is what you're going to use if you want to extract the game files and access stuff like you know, the data stuff for modifying attributes, and then there's just a bunch of things that you can edit that you can't use and edit in the editor yet, which may change, but for now you can download the pack extractor at the Larian wiki, just pack extractor guide at docs.larian.game, and download the extractor. It's by Norbite, who basically makes modding possible, or at least did, you know, for the first game, so thanks a bunch. And so you're going to open the extractor and search for your game folder, and most of the good stuff is in shared.pack. So select that and then just choose a place folder to extract that to. So once you do that, you're going to get something like public and mods, and most of the good stuff is in public. And then for stat stuff, I'm going to talk about stuff in these folders: shared, stats, generated. And so I'm going to go over what each of these files does. So look, I don't know what this does. Abilities, list stuff, but it's like abilities that don't even exist anymore, so who knows. This delta modifier is not in the editor, I believe, so it's good to know about this. This is where you define like weapon modifiers for legendary, you know, everything that's randomly generated. So, you know, warrior lore is like plus warfare, so it's boost type legendary, which is basically only appears on epic, legendary, or divine items. You define the weapon or the modifier type. You can choose weapon type, or you don't need necessarily need a weapon type. Like here, dual wielding can appear on any one-handed weapon. And so basically you're referencing boosts, which are defined in data weapon, although you can make your own text file and just, you know, copy, just make sure it has data modifier type, or you can make these kind of entries in the editor. The only thing you want to make sure is that there's an underscore before the entry. Yeah, and that's mostly it for that. Another thing in here related to that is item types, which is where you define what kind of boost types appear on different item types. So epics are gonna have, you know, always gonna have a legendary boost. Rares never have legendaries. Mostly they're doing a lot of stuff with the runes and like the chance that a rune appears in an item or an empty rune slot, and then, you know, different distributions of boost types, boost quality, and drop chance. Basically, I believe this is like from level 16 on, you're gonna have, you know, most of the rares you find will have 3 normals and a primary being like a main stat bonus, I think. Base rare is like the base weapon or armor bonus that rares receive, and then but you also have a chance, like you have 50% chance to receive this kind of rare, and then 50% chance to receive all these others combined, I believe, based on that, if that's how the drop chance works. So if you want to add new boosts, then you can do that through that way. That's a good way to increase loot variety if you want to. Okay, equipment, I'm not sure if this is defined in the editor yet or accessed, but you can define the starting equipment, say like the Inquisitor, I guess undead start with something special. I guess they start with a helmet. Yeah, so you could add items here, entries that you'll find in the other stat files, or, you know, in the editor. And it's also, this is where you define what the character creation characters are wearing. So if you want to make them look even cooler than they already do, you could do that. Skill set is where you define what kind of skills the presets start with, and then character creation, you could add different skills to character creation if you wanted to add more. And then it's also the kind of skills that it's mostly just used for character creation now, I think, and also racial skills, race, elf, henchman, stuff like that. Okay, teachers, no idea. Treasure groups, I have no idea. Everything else is in the editor. So the next thing I want to talk about is these structure files, which are going to tell you what kind of entries appear for each kind of entity. So weapons take, you know, a damage, constant integers, just like a whole number, and the way you know what these different modifier types do is you look in, or what to enter in those is to look in this value lists folder. So if you wanted to find weapon type, then you could see what sort of weapon types you could put in for a weapon, and you know, I don't think anything else is gonna work if you enter that in there. So it's important that you use one of these types, item slots. You know, it's interesting. I wonder if you could add like a wing, random loot that you could equip in a wing slot, although probably would have no UI element, so you wouldn't really be able to see it. That's something you experiment with. Surface types, just everything you can reference through that, and even if you're using the editor, then it's a good idea to know about this. So next thing I want to show is this data file, which contains just a lot of exposed variables for the game, including the vitality scaling, which, you know, it's pretty cool that you can change that. Like, you could, you know, I've noticed that the vitality really ramps up just a lot, really, like, pretty fast, and I probably would tone that down, you know, to one, like less than half of that, and it's just gonna feel less inflated. And I don't really like huge numbers to deal with, it just gets confusing. So I might make a mod for that, just to reduce that. And then you can change levels, how many attributes you gain, just all kinds of stuff. I don't know what all these things do, like these extra vitality leaps. I guess there's even more scaling, but you could change dodging boost from attribute. You could change that back to 1, so that would be for dexterity, giving you 1% dodge boost, which it used to do, but now it doesn't. But if you wanted that back, and then lots of combat ability stuff, level growth. You get 1 point for leveling up. Crit bonus from the combat ability. You kind of have to infer some things, like I can't quite remember, you know, ability reflection bonus, obviously that's for how much reflection damage you do. Leadership range, I know that's changeable. Dodging bonus, that kind of stuff might be changeable. I'm not sure if 100% of these things work, but a good amount of them should. And you know, there's just lots of things. Surface, how long the surfaces last. So this is divide these by 6 for the turns. So this is like surface duration from hit floor reaction. That's like if you electrify some water, it's gonna last 3 turns. So if you change that to 6, then it would last 1 turn. And I think maybe there's some other kind of reactions that would change as well, but you know, -1 means forever, so I mean, I don't know why blood lasts forever. You could change that to like lasting 2 turns, but it's just things you can play with. Ability stuff, you know, just looking at, oh, and then there's a lot of talent things you can change. Talent, like executioner, how many action points you get from it. Perfectionist, or hothead, I guess, what bonus you get from that. So just looking here, all kinds of things to change. Lone wolf things, if you want to change that, but it's, you know, not everything's going to be in here that you might want to change, but a lot of different things could be. So just looking here.